Wow, he's hitting me up with another guy. I like Chris. Good fellow. He's a good fellow. He's a good fellow. One of my favorite actors of all time. So, you gotta stop talking to my boy like that or I'll stab you in the eye with an ice pick. This video needs more cowbell.
Cullotta, grab your favorite brew. Ask a question, he'll answer it for you. The mafia. You better hit prescribe if you know what's good for you. Drinking a cup of coffee with Frank Cullotta. He'll tell you a lot. He's Frank Cullotta.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee with Cullotta. Now, some of you prescribers are asking, who's the guy who sings the intro song? Some asked if it was Frank, some asked if it was me. It's neither. It's a guy named Tommy Giordano, and I have him with us today. So welcome back. By the way, get a Cullotta Crew Forever cup. They're available up on the website. Support the channel. I'll keep creating content for you guys. How are you today, Tommy?
I'm doing great.
Now, do you remember how we came up with the song?
Well, first, let me say to all your listeners that the Coffee with Cullotta video channel just had the music for a long time. So Adam came to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, and he said, "Hey, Tommy, I need you to do me a favor. You gotta write a jingle to this song, Funiculi, Funicula, which is a pleasant enough song. It's a good Italian song. And an Italian cannot refuse any request from Adam because he's 6'3" and he'll kill you if you don't do it." Anyway, he called me and he said, "Tom, I want to write so I'm going to want to put some words to this song." So I go, because it's a little tough. It's a little catchy tune. And so da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we came up with grab your favorite brew. Ask a question, he'll answer it for you. And then the tricky part was the funiculi, funicula. That was the tough part. Because we're sitting here, we're throwing what could we possibly put in there? And we came up with the mafia, because it had to have, the same funiculi, funicula, the mafia. It had to have the same amount of syllables. So we came up with the mafia. And that's how the song was created. I was never a jingle writer but we hear it's somewhat popular, and tell you the truth, I'm glad it it adds something to the channel.
So do you remember what the lyrics were? The alternate lyrics?
Oh, we had some alternate lyrics. And I'm going, okay, are you writing this down? We're coming up with all sorts of good stuff. And Adam's writing it down because I'm on the phone with them. And I did. And I'm going, Cullotta, grab your favorite brew. Frank will tell you who blew up the Jew. It was, and then I go, okay, wait a second. That might be a little rough but you know what? I'm not a politically correct guy. I don't really give a shit about this Nazi speech suppression crap that's going on out there. People telling us how we're supposed to talk. Can you believe that? You can't talk like that anymore. Frank didn't put up with it, and I'm old school. I don't put up with that crap. So if your feelings are hurt, I'm sorry, but not really.
So for a minute, Tom was going to be a tour guide on the Vegas Mob Tour. And he started doing so, because you've lived in town how long?
Well, I've been in town for 40 years.
40 years now?
Yeah, 40 years.
And you need a lot of history. Your mother, she was
My mother was a cocktail waitress at the Sands Hotel back in the 50s. And back in those days, the casino was probably the size of, probably about 5,000 square feet. And, they had a couple of crap tables, 6 or 7, 8, blackjack tables, a couple of roulette wheels. That was it. And a bar and maybe 100 slot machines. So it was very small. And every celebrity that came through, my mother had served them. Because they always walked through the casino to get in and out.
So what about growing up in Vegas? I mean, what was the town? The town's completely changed.
Town is
since then. What was good then, and what's bad now?
Okay, back in those days, Vegas was a town it had a Western theme to it. In other words, you thought you were in the West, the old West, like this was Dodge City. They had Helldorado parades. Everything, a lot of the women wore, and a lot of the themes at the casinos were Western wear, where the women wore, the skirts with the frills on them, with the Western and the boots and the cowboy hats. And there were a lot of old timers walking around downtown Las Vegas. My dad used to give me my allowance in silver dollars, old Morgan Head silver dollars or the newer ones, because the silver dollars were used in the dollar slot machines. And if you were playing a dollar slot machine back in those days, in the 50s, that was like, putting $10 or $12 in a slot machine at a time. And in those days, you could buy a loaf of bread for, a nickel or a dime or maybe 25 cents, Anyway, coffee was a dime.
How long have you been entertaining in Vegas?
I started in 1985 to be an entertainer, comedian, impressionist, and I didn't get a break until 1991, and I starred in a show called Comedy Cabaret. Then the next year I went on to a show called, what the hell was the name of that? In fact, I just said it to you. It was 1990. This was interesting. This was the first show at the Rio Hotel called Tropical Heat. And I starred in it I was the main star in it with Dana Plato from Different Strokes. She had come to Vegas a few years before that, and she had gotten herself into a little bit of legal trouble. And my acting coach at the time happened to be Gary Coleman's manager, who also knew Dana quite well, and went to the producer of our show and said, "Hey, I think I can get Dana to act in the show." And she did. And we had a nice run of about 10 months. And then she moved out of town, and then the rest, she moved to Texas and got herself into another thing and ended up checking herself out in 1999.
How many shows total have you been in Las Vegas?
Production shows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 production shows.
6 production shows? And the last one you were in?
Last one I was in was called The Rat Pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you play in the Rat Pack?
Pack's back. Oh, I played 2 characters in the Rat Pack. I played Dean Martin, because he's Italian, and I played the comedian Joey Bishop.
And could you do a little Dean for us?
A little Dean Martin. Yeah. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow.
How about some Joey Bishop?
So, son of a gun. This lady walks into a kitchen. She sees her husband waving a fly swatter. She says, "What are you doing?" He says, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm hunting flies." She said, "Did you get any yet?" He says, "I got 5. 3 males and a couple of females." The wife said, "That's ridiculous. How in the world could you possibly tell their gender?" The husband said, "Easy, because 3 were on a beer can, the other 2 were on the phone."
What do you do for fun while you're here in Vegas for your off time?
I don't do anything for fun anymore. We can't. I gotta wear a fucking mask every time I go out. How can you have fun with a mask on?
How can you breathe with a mask on?
How do you make love with a mask on? Yeah, there's no more. You know what? But the problem is it's been too hot. But as soon as it starts cooling off, I get to go play golf again. Because when you play in the heat, you could end up with the 19th stroke, you know, an extra stroke, which is you fall over. I'm telling you, it's brutal out there.
It's been 100 and ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been 106 for 3 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, it's too much.
But as soon as it gets October, about the first week in October, it starts to cool down to where you can go out and, you know, gets into the 80s.
Yeah. So, but look, thank you for singing the song number 1. Thanks for helping me write the jingle number 2. And thanks for sharing these stories with all the prescribers.
And yeah, Adam, that was, and I hope this clears up the mystery of who's the guy singing the song.
And what the song name again is?
Funiculi, Funicula.
All right, everybody, be sure to prescribe. All right, go buy a coffee cup. The new cups, you got the new cup right there.
This is the new one?
Yeah, it's got that on one side. On the other
And
side,
then,
you got the Cullotta's Crew Forever. Cullotta's Crew Forever.
Cullotta's Crew. And
There
you're going
you
to
go.
be Cullotta's Crew forever.
Hey, thanks,
Get
guys.
yours today.
Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Please be sure to visit frankcullotta.com for coffee cups and t-shirts. Also, hit the like button, share this video. Oh, and don't forget to
hit that prescribe button to subscribe. I found gold. I hope you enjoyed yourself. God bless.